Hey everybody, welcome back to the battalion, and another full year has run its course. So, to commemorate that, I'm gonna be listing my top 10 pickups for 2023. Now, let's get on with it. Now, starting out the list, we have the Spot from the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse retro carded wave. Now, this guy was a bit tougher to find for me because, as we all know, the Marvel Legends figure from that same wave that took up the pegs was Jessica Drew, and people had trouble finding the other figures. But the Spot, I found him, and I was very glad I found him because he is a fun figure, and especially if you have those NECA display stands in black and a few stands, you can get those things put up like spots, and it's amazing. So, yeah. So he takes the spot for number 10. Let's move on to the next one. On the 9th spot, we have the Star Wars The Black Series Republic Commando figures. Now, this might be cheating a bit because it's not one figure, but oh man, I could not choose a single one to put on this list because all of them were so fun to actually look for. So, Fixer was the easiest one to find. Sev second. Scorch, I was so lucky to actually be able to find him, like at a GameStop. I had to ask the guy if there was any in the back, and lo and behold, he actually came out with one. So that was beautiful. That was perfect. Shout out to that GameStop employee. And then, Boss was the only one that gave me trouble because I didn't pick him up when he first came out. So I had to pay $30 at a convention to get him, which still isn't as bad, but I would have preferred paying 25 or 27 as usual. But hey, $30 isn't bad. So they're all fun. You have to get all of them if you even have one of them. They're just so fun, and that's why they take number 9 on the list. In the 8th spot, we have the Playmates Storage Shell Leonardo. Now, this might be an odd choice, but out of the 3 Storage Shell figures that I have so far, this one is the one that I've had the most fun with. So, he's simple. He's very simple. That's why I like him. Also, he's the one that I got that has the least amount of paint defects and such. Also, the head on him looks really good. Like, it's actually amazing. It almost reminds me of the 2003 Leonardo. Shoot. The only thing is that his swords, since they made them out of like a different plastic type, they're kind of bendy and they get bent easily. But because he has those like climbing claws, they're good for like putting him in like punching poses as much as you can pose with these Playmates figures. But yeah, he's taking the spot for the 8th. On the 7th spot in this list, we have the Shredder in Hell, Shredder. And this is definitely one of the most surprising figures of the year for me. Since, oh my goodness, he completely subverted my expectations. So, I made a review of the Best Action cartoon Shredder. And this guy completely blew him out of the water in terms of accessories and detail and everything. Like, it's so good. Okay, he comes with 6 alternate hands, an alternate head, a power blast effect, a like swoosh effect, a katana. He comes with an axe, and then a whole comic book. It's amazing. And some Walmarts you can find this guy for like a discounted price, which is crazy. So yeah, Best Action has been killing it. Or Best Action Loyal Subjects. They've been killing it with this Ninja Turtles line. And we'll move on to the next entry. Coming in at 6th, we have Game Dimensions Kazuya Mishima. And this guy is a lot of fun, especially if you have another figure that's going to be coming up on the list to go against him. But, oh my goodness, Game Dimensions their Heihachi looks pretty good. Their Kazuya is really good in terms of like articulation. He may lack like butterfly joints and such, but oh my goodness, he makes up for it in just the posing in general, because he's pretty dang good. He is pretty dang good. The only thing is that his torso feels a tiny bit hollow, but other than that, I can get behind it, because he's a sick figure overall. And he comes with this Electric Wind God Fist accessory, which is perfect if you don't want to sugarcoat it, and this round one effect thing, and 2 sets of hands, open hands and fist hands. But yeah, this Kazuya Mishima is pretty good, and this is why it's coming in 6th. And also Game Dimensions needs to do Yoshimitsu, but yeah, he's coming in 6th. Coming in at 5th, we have the Marvel Legends Marvel vs. Capcom War Machine. And I am very, very biased towards this version of War Machine. A lot of people are going to say that like it's just a repaint of the Marvel Legends modular Iron Man. But I don't know, man. This one's pretty sick. So this one, if you don't know, is based off of his design in Marvel vs. Capcom, where he was a recolored sprite of Iron Man for that game. And it works very well. And he comes with all the like repulsor accessories except in red to match, well, the game. And he's really fun. He's a fun figure, and he matches the source material pretty dang well. So I have to give him the number 5 spot. Let's move on. Now, coming in at 4th, we have the Star Wars The Black Series Phase 2 Clone Trooper. And I have the previous Clone Troopers that were on the other clone body, as well as the older clone body. So there's the original clone body, the 2020 or 2021 clone body, and then this one. This one is the pinnacle of clone trooper articulation for now. So the shoulders, instead of being on like attached to the bicep piece of the armor, it's attached to the top, so like near the strap, so that it always hangs on top of the other piece, and it's perfect. It is absolutely perfect. I love it. The only well, actually there's not many really bad things about it. The knee pads as well, instead of being like on the top of it, so that when like you get it into specific poses, it like looks horrible. Instead, it's just resting, and you can move it around so that you can rest it wherever you want to. The only downside really is that the head can be a hit or a miss depending on. The head can be a real hit or miss. So what mine looks like. If we can focus. There we go. It's got a bit too much stubble, or like a 5 o'clock shadow. But yeah, besides the head, I think it's really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put him in like right there. But I'd say he's coming in 4th. So let's move on to number 3. So the next figure on the list was almost gonna be the top figure of the year, but it was just barely beat out by a few other figures. And that is the Super 7 Metalhead. Now, when I think of Metalhead, the first thing that comes to mind for me is the toy, the original Playmates toy. And this perfectly encapsulates Metalhead, like the original toy, but with modern day articulation and modern day aesthetics. And he's just so good. But he's hindered by a few things. So his legs have 2 wires on the back, and due to them being right here on the original figures, since they were in a crouched or lunging stance, the wires weren't like molded. I mean, their own thing. They were molded into the part. With this, they're a separate piece. So my metal head, that broke. But the only other issue with him is the price. $50 is a no-go. I would not pay $50 for this, but recently, Super 7 figures, you can be able to find them for like, what, $30? Maybe 20? And this guy, I found him for 30. So, yeah, he's great for 30, yeah. The box that he came in was absolutely huge and came packed with accessories. There was like 6 different hands. Of course, he has that hand, which is more like the cartoon than the figure, because in the cartoon, Metalhead has that, of course. But the party pack and the robo-chucks and stuff and the satellite dish or the antenna thing, that's all the figure. And yeah, he's amazing, but he was beat out by some other figures. So that's why he's coming in the 3rd spot. And in 2nd place, we have the Jada Toys Ryu. Now, oh my goodness, where do I begin? So, Jada Toys has been knocking it out of the park with their Street Fighter stuff. And, ooh, this line is just going to keep going. So, Ryu came packed with a Hadouken accessory, a stand for the Hadouken, 2 Hadouken hands, 2 fist hands, which are equipped on him right now, an alternate, like, gritting his teeth face, and this face was more stern, and that's it. But, oh my goodness, the articulation on him is insane. Even while he's wearing his gi. And speaking of the gi, the top part of it can be removed. So, like, you can take off the black belt and the actual gi itself and just have a shirtless Ryu, which is great when you're trying to, like, look at the articulation and figure out how to move him. It's so good. That's why he's going in 2nd place. Also, I had to bust out the copy of Street Fighter Cross Tekken and put Kazuya next to him because, ooh, that looks good. Only thing is that Kazuya is a bit taller than him, but I don't quite know if that's canon or if that's their actual heights, because the heights and stuff is confusing in Street Fighter. But anyway, yeah, on to the honorable mention before we get to number 1. Now, for an honorable mention, I have the NECA TMNT Toon Vernon. And he's a fun figure. He's a funny figure to put anywhere. He can be shooting something for a film, or a news reporter, because he is a news reporter for Channel 6, so I don't know what I'm talking about. He can be getting beat up by anybody. He can be running away. He's a universal figure that you can put anywhere. And also, it's Vernon. It's funny. His accessories include he's got open hands, he's got 2 gripping hands, he's got the camera, and he's got a pointing finger, which is perfect. The pointing finger is actually perfect for everything that you're doing. You need him to be pointing at something? Boom! You need him to look cocky? Boom! Pointing finger. The pointing finger is perfect and needs to be put into more figures, in my opinion. But, yeah, he's taking the honorable mention spot, and we'll move on to the number 1 figure, my number 1 figure of this year. Alright, so we finally made it to the number 1 spot. And here it is. It's the Marvel Legends Darwin. So he's pretty cool because he's on the Pizza Party Buddy. So yeah, that's why Marvel Legends Darwin is the game, because it's Darwin and it's Metalhead. So let's get Darwin out of the way. This NECA metalhead is exactly what I was looking for in a metalhead. He's got the size that metalhead needs. The way that is interpreted in the cartoon is my favorite interpretation of metalhead. He's this big, bulky, robotic turtle. He's got the size, he's got the bulkiness, he's got the movable mouth, which is great. He's got an opening jaw, and the accessories that he has are great. He has a vacuum, 6 different hands, 2 gripping hands, 2 open hands, 2 fist hands, and that's it. And he's got that extra drill that he's got on his hand right now, and his chest opens up to reveal more stuff, where using that empty little slot you can put in a chest cannon. It's such a good figure. And Metalhead is definitely my favorite TMNT character. But one extra detail is that he's got the switch that was used in the cartoon to shut him off, and it can move. It's absolutely great. It's perfect. It's a really good figure, and that's why he's taking the #1 spot of my pickups of the year. So let's get them all together and see how they all look. Alright, so that's it. That's gonna wrap it up for this one. So, the year's over, and there's been some ups and downs, but in the end, this channel has grown a bit, which makes me very happy. And I just want to say that thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and maybe share the video. That would be cool. But be sure to stick around, because I've got some big content coming later or sometime next year. So yeah, I'll maybe put a few pictures, and I'll see you guys next time.